I remember when my father passed away a few years ago. Some of you know he was ill for quite a few years. He had Alzheimer's. I have lots of stories to tell about that, but this particular story was about the day he passed away. And he had been very, very, very sleepy for a few days, and we kind of knew he was reaching the end. And we were all gathered round his bed in the care home, and there was this kind of beautiful stillness in the room, and Dad, bless him, he started taking his final breaths, and then at some point there was this final exhale, and it's very, very hard to put into words. Some of you will have experienced this with loved ones passing away, but it felt like in that final exhale, it was the deepest kind of relaxation, the deepest kind of relief. It's like all the struggle, all the suffering, all the trauma, all his unresolved issues, all the baggage he was carrying from the past, all that stress, all that suffering, all that heaviness just relaxed. It really felt like there was a relaxation back into consciousness, back into the ocean, whatever you want to call it, because as I always say, the words really don't matter. We can drive ourselves crazy, and I did for years, arguing over words. I think the truth is really wordless. Even these words are just fingers pointing to the moon, as they say in Zen. But it was almost like I just had this sense that Dad's, it's like being in a physical body had just become too constricting. The body, it was too tight. It was too heavy. I think it was Nisargadatta Maharaj, the spiritual teacher, who talked about death as like taking off an old pair of clothes that don't fit anymore. It's like they're too tight. So that there's a relief in that. So that's kind of what it felt like with Dad, is just this taking off these old clothes that didn't fit anymore, and just a relaxation back into presence. Because the question we ask, isn't it? It's like, well, where did he go? Where did he go? It's not the mystery of death. It's like he was there and now he's not there. Where did he go? But I really had this sense sitting with my dad that he hadn't gone anywhere. He hadn't gone to some other realm, some other place. He was actually, and this is very, very hard to put into words, he was more there than ever. He was more present than ever. That illusion of separation, any kind of holding back from full presence, was gone. He was it's the paradox of death, isn't it? Or what we call death. He was more present than ever. It really felt like there was this palpable, fierce, almost intoxicating presence, this loud presence in the room. It's almost like Dad didn't go anywhere. He simply, again, words, but he became what he always was, or he returned to what he always was. Of course, he had always been presence. It's what we are. It's what you are. It's what I am. It's what he is. It's what she is. It's what they are. It's our true nature. So there was like a deep rest. That's the only way of describing it. A deep rest in his true nature. Bind me like a seal upon thy heart. Love is as strong as death. It's one of my favorite quotes from the Song of Solomon in the Old Testament. Love is as strong as death. I mean, everything I've just said, it's just a lot. I know it's just a lot of words. Forgive me, I'm a writer, but it's just a very long way of saying we just return to love. We just return to love, and even that isn't technically. We don't return to love. It's like love is all there is. Actually, there can be the illusion of loss of love, or separation from love, or sin. But yeah, I just had this sense in the days following my dad's passing, or rather the ceasing of his physical body. His heart stopped, his brain stopped, but he was still absolutely present, maybe more present than he had ever been. He was present, and I'm sure many of you who have lost loved ones will understand this. He was present not just in that room, but everywhere. He was present in every tree, every blade of grass. He was present in every cloud. He was present in his beloved ocean. He was present in the moon and the sun and the stars. He was with me. He lived in presence itself, which is beyond time and space. So yeah, it's very hard to put into words, but there was this sense of he hadn't gone anywhere. Just like the wave doesn't go anywhere. There is just the vastness of the ocean. So it's very paradoxical. So from the perspective of the ocean, nothing happened. And of course, that's on an absolute level, but we don't want to be cold and detached about all this. And this is the paradox as well, on a very human level. You know, I missed my dad. There were the little boy in me missed my dad. I missed his physical form. I missed being able to hold his hand. I missed being able to have a cup of tea with him. I missed going out to a cafe and having his favorite piece of cake. So there was a period of very human grieving, you know. And because I've been on this path for so many years, I just knew to allow the grief, and it came in waves, big, very much felt like waves. Grief can very much feel like it comes in waves, you know. And I just allowed myself to open to those waves and let the tears come and really honor, you know, that sense of having lost something very, very precious, very, very beautiful. And at the same time, and this is why it's so paradoxical, knowing that on a deeper level, he was still here. Knowing that on a deeper level, nothing had been lost. So isn't that a wonderful paradox of the whole thing? On one hand, grieving the loss, missing the physical form, missing his touch, even his smell, like the aftershave he used to wear, that look he used to give me, his cheeky little jokes, you know. So you could say on a relative level, on a human level, whatever words you want to use. I don't really believe there's levels, but it's just a way of talking, isn't it? There was a sense of loss and a sense of grieving and allowing the grief. Who was it who said, grief is the price we pay for love? I think it was the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, said that. Maybe she was quoting someone else, but I always think about that. Grief is the price we pay for love. So to allow ourselves to grieve, to allow the grief to come, the grief to go, comes in waves. There's no timeline for grieving. But then on a deeper level, you could say, knowing that your loved one is still very much present. Literally, they are alive in presence. The ocean is still here. The ocean doesn't go anywhere. The ocean out of which that temporary form arises and dances, and then it falls back into the ocean. So to celebrate that temporary form, the dance of the formless as form, and then to grieve when that form dissolves, but at the same time to know the ocean. So Dad he's still here in that sense. So both are true, really. I would say, and I'm just sharing my perspective here. I don't want anyone to believe me. This isn't some dogma. I'm not trying to be the teacher who knows. For me, death it's like the opposite, really. It's like falling into the ultimate not knowing, into the mystery, into the absolute mystery. That's what I felt in that room that day, and still do, by the way. The mystery of life itself. And that's where we can truly meet, in the mystery, not in our clever concepts and dogmas and the I know mind. That separates us. But we can truly meet in the not knowing, in the mystery. So let's, each day let's become more familiar with the mystery. Let's become friends with the mystery. Let's invite death, in that sense, into our lives, into our meditations, to contemplate, to meditate on that, and to remember the wave The wave in the ocean, it seems separate from the ocean, but it's really the ocean waving. It's really the ocean waving to itself. So, you know, that story, that metaphor has helped me a lot. Make more peace, really, with death, with my own, and with the passing of others who I love. Love is as strong as death. And that's, again, lots and lots of words in this video, as usual, to say something very simple, that we come from love, we return to love, and in love we never really die. Love never dies. Love transcends the physical form in that sense. So I say to my dad, you know, thank you for teaching me this. Thank you for teaching me about love. Thank you for showing me a deeper kind of love. Thank you for showing me who you really are, and thank you for inviting me into the mystery, even more deeply into the mystery. Hope this video helped you in some way, or inspired you in some way, or touched you in some way. Yeah, please subscribe or follow me, or whatever the thing is that you're meant to do. If you'd like to get more videos like this. Lots of love to you all. Take care.